Hello and welcome to Seek Truth and Speak Truth. Thank you for watching if you are. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. Really means the world. Absolutely, just anyone that presses that subscribe button just means the world to me. Makes this all worthwhile. So please carry on doing so. Please share me to your Facebooks. Anything you can. Let's keep seeking truth and speaking truth. I've got a few things written down. I really believe in the last sort of week or two, the ball has been killed. The ball is dead. Flat Earth is just winning. It's just the ball can't win now. There's just too much proof and only theory for the ball. It's flat, guys. It's flat, and I'm going to go over a few other things. Just bring up some things, and you've just got to think to yourself, they all add up. They all add up to the flat plane. That was not a Freemasonic symbol there, by the way. I'm well into that. As soon as I did that sign, I thought, oh no, I was gesturing that the Earth was flat. Right. I mean, we'll bring up a few things here. Mr. Eric Dubay, the man, he recently done a video about the moon. It was a great video, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit and also suggest that you subscribe to Eric Dubay and watch his last and all of his videos. But basically the moon cannot reflect sunlight the way that it should do, or it's not reflecting light the way it should do. I'm going to use my trusty spherical ball here as a demonstration. And you can see here, because I do have a light shining over here, you can see the shadow. Oh, an eclipse. There's a spot, isn't there? I can't really put, there we go. A spot, a light spot. So anything that's a concave shape is going to have a light spot. It cannot signal the energy of the light in such a way that it would then bounce back to Earth and illuminate this whole ball. Or it could, it's illuminating some of the ball when it spins, but that light obviously stays exactly where it was. So, if we looked at the moon and we saw a light spot like this, I would think to myself, oh, okay, yeah, it's the sun's reflection. I mean, that's basically what you're seeing here is the light bulb's reflection. And then obviously the light has travelled around and is reaching parts of this ball, and this side of the ball is dark. Lovely, yeah, great, that's science. So why does the moon just illuminate completely, or obviously it's waxing and waning cycles? It's self-illuminating. And please explain to me why you think it's not when I've just proved it can't be. It's self-illuminating. The sun's rays heat and the moon's rays cool. And there's been many experiments proving this, where it's actually warmer in the shade during the evening, especially during full moons and things like that. I personally don't know what the moon is. If you watch Eric Dubay's video, he will give you a better understanding of it than what I personally can. But nobody really knows what the moon is because nobody's ever been there. No probes, nothing. Not anything has been there. So it is all hearsay and speculation, but we can look at facts, as in we have a light spot on a ball, on a sphere, and we don't when we look at the moon. That alone is proof. And obviously the angle, sometimes you see these photos and the way the sun is, and say if it's a half moon, the sun should be 90 degrees opposite it, really, for that half moon. Obviously, depending on where you are on the Earth, it will look differently. But the sun's over here somewhere, and the angles are wrong. But the indoctrination kicks in, and people just look over it, look over the facts, and trust the theories. A few other things. I've got some things written down, so I may pause every now and again, but I'm just kind of looking at what we've got here. The proof of gravity. I mean, the big G is the big joke, isn't it, really? All us flat earthers know it. And then anyone else that believes in the big G, the god of heliocentrism, or helio, bleh, like, just, it's wrong. But gravity, it needs to be there to hold this lie together. Gravity is the glue of the lie. So apparently the horizontal deflection due to gravity has been demonstrated, and this is, obviously, most people have heard of the Cavendish experiment. And there's another one, I can't even really pronounce it, the Schuylen experiment. That one was basically hanging, say, like a plumb bob, or a weight next to a mountain, and the mountain drew in the weight. Okay, did it? Why aren't we pulled into the side of the mountain? How does the mountain so suddenly overcome the mass of the whole Earth? Surely the mountain is part of the mass of the Earth, and the gravitational field of this mountain would never, ever, ever outweigh Earth's gravitational pull, if there was one. How close was this ball to the mountain? It must have been about a centimetre away. And then you're just going to get, I don't know, less air this side between the mountain and the ball, and it will, go towards the mountain a little bit. It's not proof of gravity. Neither is the Cavendish experiment. Basically proves gravity's not real. And they have universities. I have some guy like, every university does this experiment every year, and we all watch it. That's the indoctrination, guys. You guys that sit there through this experiment is your indoctrination into believing gravity exists. And you just don't get it, do you? What's it hanging down from? Because they say, it has to hang down because friction is a more powerful force. So, if there's two balls on the floor, the friction of the floor will stop the balls from going together so quickly. So they have to hang down from something, and then apparently gravity will slowly, pull these balls together. But why does it have to hang from something? There's so many variables involved. As soon as you hang something in an atmosphere, it's unmeasurable. You cannot trust the measurements made in these conditions. If you're hanging from a rope or a string, or anything, like, usually things are made by twisting motion, threads and things like that. So whatever you're hanging from, if it's heavy, it will twist, and whatever's opposite it will twist the opposite way, and they'll move together a little bit, won't they? These type of experiments do not prove gravity. I personally have not done one, but I've recently looked a lot into it because everyone brings this up as like, this is the proof of gravity. It's not. It's proven it doesn't exist. Do you honestly think these two balls that are next to each other, their gravitational pulls would have anything like that could overcome the Earth's gravitational pull? If this experiment was done 5 miles up in the air or something, maybe you could say, the balls, the gravitational pull of the Earth is less now because we're higher, so we can do these experiments. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how these people believe this, and it is a theory. It is a theory, and you'll say, but it's a scientific theory. Everything we say and do leads up to this, and it's still not a fact. it is still not a fact, and that is a fact. It's silly. It's silly. Pseudoscience. We're the scientists. Um, a great thing I noticed the other day. And when I looked into it, it has been about a bit, but I personally had never heard of it within the flat Earth community. And that was the 1958, I believe, Britannica Encyclopedia, and the entry about the Antarctica. Um, and I'll leave a link actually to the video in the comments, so you can actually look into it, because he has physical proof of this in the book. And it states basically aeroplanes were flying 13,000 feet and hitting a dome. A dome at 13,000 feet in Antarctica. That's 2.4 miles high, by the way, which sounds like a lot, but just for reference, I believe that's still about half of Everest. It might even be a third of Everest. I can't recall it properly now. So, there are things on Earth that are just that high. But 13,000 feet, 2.4 miles is still high. Why don't they call it a mountain? Just, we were hitting mountains at this height. Why dome? I'm sure the word mountain was invented by 1958. I'm more or less certain of it. So, and when I was looking into it again, you get all these other articles. Oh, this is, Mr. Flat Earth Debunker, and he's, done something on this and said, oh, there's domes all over Antarctica, and he pulls up a map and so-and-so dome, so-and-so dome, so-and-so dome. But why is it a dome there and mountains everywhere else? Why isn't it like Dome Everest? I just don't get it. Like, when you have to make up excuses is what I don't get. And it changes, The Antarctic Treaty came in 61, I believe. Obviously, just very, close to this Antarctic Britannica mention of a dome at 13,000 feet. I think that it's Britannica. It's physical proof of a dome, and it's now being said, oh no, they're just ice shelves that we're hitting 2.4 miles up into the sky. Keeps getting twisted and twisted and twisted, doesn't it? Wow. The ball is dying. It really is. It's dead. Well, the Earth's flat. But the more I look into it, there's just so much evidence that goes against this. Another thing I spotted today, a man was sued for $15,000 for claiming there was no curvature of the Earth. This was on a channel called Flat Earth Doctrine. I think the guy is called Zen Garcia. The trial was June the 11th, 2019 in Barrow County. And he won. He won. It could not be proven that there was curvature. It sounds like a silly, big claim, like there was a court case about curvature of the Earth. But again, I'm going to leave a link in the comments to the exact video to show you the proof, so you can look into it yourself. But a man has won a court case for claiming there was no curvature, and he won. Zen Garcia, look into him. Flat Earth Doctrine. What else do we have here? We obviously all know, or I hope you're beginning to understand, that we never ever went to the moon, and we never can. Dave Murphy, there's been a lot of this recently as well, been shared a lot, because he's been up against some of Simon Dan, or Satan Dan. He's got a lot of cult followers. They love his stuff, and basically Dave Murphy spotted a couple of people with Simon Dan t-shirts on, so he started talking to them. And it said on their t-shirt, it said something like "Take the Mickey out of flat earthers" or something like that. But Mr. D Murphy, 25, approached them, and he killed the moon landings. He absolutely killed the moon landings. When I heard it, I was literally running around my kitchen, jumping up and down and just laughing. It's the end of the moon landings. Rather than use my trusty ball this time, I'm going to use my trusty head, to hope that you can visualise it. So, because my head's a bit spherical, it's probably nearer pear-shaped, to be honest. So, you know, imagine this. This is what we live on, guys. Like, it's more like that than that. No, it's not. It's flat. But I'm going to use my head. So basically, I think it was the first moon landing. They landed. Say this is the centre. The Earth is above. I'll pretend that this ball is the Earth. So the Earth is above the moon. So obviously, if you're, this side of the Earth, you're going to be able to see the moon. The same face, always facing the Earth. That's the centre of the moon facing the Earth. That landing was within 15 degrees of the centre, which is about here. It's within here. So there's a photo from the moon showing the horizon of the moon and then the Earth behind it. Lovely, 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 lovely. But we forget that this face of the moon is always facing the Earth. Always. So that bit there would always be facing Earth. You'd have to look up, straight up, 90 degrees, to be able to see the Earth from the moon. I know this probably looks ridiculous, guys, but I'm trying to make you visualise it. So if you were standing on the moon here, this is Neil Armstrong, you're looking outwards this way or that way if you take a photo. The horizon, say the horizon here, so the Earth would have to be here to be able to actually get a photo of the moon's horizon and the Earth. But the Earth is always 90 degrees to the moon. The only way to be able to get a photo of the Earth from the moon would be to come down here to, say, the Terminator line, where like the dark side of the moon would begin, and then you would be able to get the horizon and then the Earth. You could take a photo, man standing, moon, Earth. Lovely, that would be perfect. But they landed here. The only way you could get a photo of the Earth is to point upwards. And you would never ever be able to get the moon in the photo at the same time. 100% proof we didn't go to the moon. It's fake, hoax. We didn't go. If you can not, or if you can look at that and think we still went, God help you. God help you, really. Really, really, really. I wish you well. God help you. That's it. The ball is dead. Flat Earth has won. So what you got? What you got to come back with? Thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far, absolutely brilliant of you. Please subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, and please comment. Keep coming back. The Earth is flat.